You turned location history off, and according to California's Department of Justice, Google kept collecting your location anyway. The complaint says users were falsely told that switching off location history would stop their location data from being stored. Instead, the state alleged, the data kept flowing in through other Google sources while the switch sat there looking off. A multi-year investigation by the California Department of Justice examined how location data was collected, stored, and used for consumer profiling and advertising without informed consent. If you use Google at all, this is about the map of your life the company allegedly kept building after you said stop. What did California find, and what did it force Google to change? That answer starts with one switch that didn't mean what it said. On September 14, 2023, a significant moment unfolded as the California Attorney General announced a $93 million settlement with Google. This announcement was the result of an extensive investigation led by the California Department of Justice aimed at addressing allegations surrounding Google's location privacy practices. At the heart of this legal battle were accusations that Google allegedly misled users regarding the control they had over their location data. The controversy centered on the belief that by turning off location history, users could opt out of data storage. However, it is alleged that Google continued to collect location data through alternative sources, unbeknownst to its users. Such methods allegedly enabled the tech giant to gather detailed location information, which was then allegedly used to enhance its advertising capabilities. For anyone who thought a switch labeled off meant off, this was a different kind of problem. Despite agreeing to the settlement, Google did not admit any wrongdoing. The terms of the settlement require Google to enhance its transparency and implement more robust privacy safeguards for California residents, ensuring users are better informed about how their location data is utilized. What exactly did the DOJ find during their investigation? It was a cold morning in California on September 14, 2023, when the Attorney General stepped up to the podium, marking a significant chapter in a saga many tech observers had been following for years. The California Department of Justice had finally concluded its intricate and prolonged investigation into Google's practices around location data. This investigation, which spanned several years, had involved a meticulous review of complex mechanisms allegedly employed by Google to circumvent user controls and collect location data. Imagine logging into your smartphone, comforted by the assurance that your location history was off, only for it to be alleged that the application was still tracking your every move. According to the California DOJ, Google used the location data it collected for consumer profiling and advertising purposes without informed consent. The multi-year probe culminated in a $93 million settlement, announced as part of a broader effort to ensure transparency and trust in consumer relations. Under the terms of this settlement, Google must now implement stronger privacy safeguards for its California users and provide clearer transparency regarding its data collection practices. Did Google uphold its consumer commitments or breach them?
As the investigation unfolded, users braced themselves against a tide of concern surrounding Google's alleged actions. The September 14, 2023 announcement of a $93 million settlement struck a chord, bringing to light Google's alleged collection of location data despite users turning off location history. Imagine the average consumer sitting at home, confidently toggling settings with the belief that their preferences and privacy were respected. Yet, according to the California Department of Justice's complaints, turning off location history didn't suffice, as Google allegedly continued to track users through alternative, discrete avenues. This revelation shattered trust, not just in one tech giant, but perhaps in the entire infrastructure of digital privacy. For many, the convenience offered by technology now came with a hefty, invisible price tag. As part of the settlement, Google agreed to fortify their privacy measures for Californians and enhance transparency regarding data usage. Still, the fundamental question haunted users. If this could happen with Google, what assurances exist with other technology providers? Without a solid trust framework, where does this leave the average, everyday user plumbing the vast landscape of technology? Here's the part nobody noticed. Did this issue transcend beyond just Google? On September 14, 2023, in a momentous announcement, the California Attorney General unveiled a $93 million settlement agreement with Google. Stemming from a comprehensive multi-year investigation led by the California Department of Justice, this settlement addresses allegations that Google manipulated its location privacy settings to the detriment of millions of users.
It is alleged that Google deceived users by continuing to collect, store, and utilize their location data even when they turned off the location history setting, an option many believed would prevent data retention. Reports suggest that the tech giant allegedly assured users that disabling this feature would stop their location from being tracked, while, in reality, it allegedly continued data collection through other unidentified means. The settlement, however, is not merely a financial penalty. Google will be required to implement more robust privacy measures specifically for Californians, a move that sets a precedent in the broader landscape of consumer protection. Moreover, Google is tasked with providing transparency regarding the dark underbelly of location tracking and elucidating the methods by which collected location data were previously utilized for consumer profiling and targeted advertising, according to the California DOJ's complaint. This significant enforcement action underscores growing regulatory scrutiny over tech companies. But how does this settlement aim to change things?
Imagine a time in early September 2023, just over 5 years after California introduced its groundbreaking privacy law, the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA. On the 14th of that month, the California Attorney General announced a pivotal $93 million settlement with Google. This announcement marked the culmination of a multi-year investigation by the California Department of Justice into allegations that Google had engaged in deceptive practices regarding user location data. The investigation, initiated as consumer concerns mounted about personal data exposure, alleged that Google deceived its users by collecting, storing, and leveraging their location information without proper consent. It is alleged that Google misleadingly advised users that disabling the location history setting would halt the recording of their whereabouts. Yet, despite such actions, it was further alleged that Google continued data collection by alternative means. Under the terms of this settlement, Google is now mandated to bolster its privacy safeguards, focusing particularly on California users. The tech giant is also required to offer clearer transparency concerning its data tracking methods and how this information is ultimately utilized. As tech brands across the globe observe these developments, it becomes evident: profound transparency is imperative, not merely an option. Still, the question remains: will users feel their privacy is genuinely protected? With the settlement finalizing on September 14, 2023, many eyes are on what's next for digital privacy and consumer trust. Google, once purportedly at the forefront of technological innovation, now faces the dual task of regaining trust and adhering to rigorous privacy safeguards demanded by the agreement. But, as consumers, where does this leave our relationship with technology giants? Imagine the phone in your hand and the trust blindly placed in its ethereal assurances. This settlement underscores the need for vigilance, urging users to question how their data is used and safeguarded. The larger narrative points towards a paradigm shift. Are companies prepared to commit to transparency, not just in words, but in action? As regulations tighten and consumer awareness grows, the very fabric of digital interaction is poised to transform. The road ahead for Google remains steep, but its outcomes could set standards across the tech industry. Will these measures suffice in bridging the chasm of trust, or will they manifest as a beacon for broader regulatory reforms? The echoes of this case reverberate far beyond a singular settlement. They challenge the essence of how our digital lives are governed. As you move forward, consider: is your digital footprint truly secure, or merely an illusion?